Let's head back to the voicemail of Truth and Reason.
I don't understand how Kevin Stefanski misevaluated Shedeur and Dylan. Dylan, he's very cautious on throwing the ball. He don't make a lot of mistakes as far as interceptions. Shedeur, more of a gunslinger. But clearly, he saw that Shedeur had the more potential and upside. Just think if he would have started him earlier, he would have had more reps and probably would have won more than 4 games. The other thing is draft pick situation about should we draft another quarterback. We need to focus on upgrading the wide receiver, upgrading the offensive line, and probably getting another edge. And I think this team can honestly win 8 to 9, maybe even 10 games next season. That's just my thoughts. What do you guys think?
As always, appreciate all of the voicemails. Jeff, I don't know that they misevaluated, and I know people are going to push back at that. I will admit, Shedeur Sanders looked significantly better, and you saw some growth. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done relative to him. And there's a lot of work that needs to be done on the offensive side of the ball. If you can get the line somewhat settled and you get a playmaking wide receiver and a competent quarterback, then sure, you're a 9-10 win team. Those are huge ifs.
Well, I'll be the one to go out there and say that, I think you do need receiver help. These people who think that the Browns need 2 and 3 wide receivers, first off, you're really not going to be able to do that in one off season, so I don't know how it's going to work. But what are your expectations of the quarterback? Because I got news for you. What we saw, a little bit of Malachi Corley this year, if you put Malachi Corley, who apparently is now matured after a rough rookie year with the New York Jets, you put him with a competent NFL quarterback, I think Malachi Corley would have some use for you. Cedric Tillman, it's been injuries. I don't know where to go with that. He's missed more time almost than he's been around. So, it's nobody's fault, obviously, but, his own poor luck. Isaiah Bond, you needed a quarterback that could throw vertical routes to maybe have a vertical receiver do some things. As far as Shedeur starting earlier, he would have gotten assaulted by the Green Bay Packers. The Detroit Lions would have had their way with him. When you draft a guy and you say he needs time, and again, the reason maybe he did look good is because he had some time. And, give the kid credit. Obviously, yesterday went out there, a game-winning drive, had to feel good about it, whatever. But, for all the Shedeur people, today was a step backwards, in my opinion, towards Shedeur being your quarterback in 2026. If you wanted to see Shedeur in 2026, you wanted him continuing working with the guy that got him playing to where all you people were so excited and thought he should be the starter all along. Well, now that guy's gone, you need to find somebody who's going to believe in Shedeur at least whatever way Kevin did. I will say one other thing. Yes, all of a sudden now I do believe that the Browns are in a little bit more need of another pass rusher than I would have thought earlier in the year. But I think, one more wide receiver, but the quarterback is supposed to elevate all these things. Better quarterback play, every one of these wide receivers on the Browns roster currently will look better as well.
Yeah, the main thing is the line. I mean, the line was I thought
sure.
I thought the line was aging out. Man, it went past aging out.
Yeah, and the other thing, the penalties, this, that, and the other thing. When you sign a guy on Tuesday, he shows up on Thursday and starts on Sunday, yeah, there might be a false start or two, okay? But, I mean, I'll tell you, if you tell me Luke Whippler's my starting center next year, I think everybody would like to see that. I know people weren't so on this, but over the last few weeks, a couple of penalties here and there, KT Levinston hasn't looked terrible. He could be a guy that's serviceable. So, we talked all last year during 24, Dave, about how old this offensive line looked. And then their answer for 25 was, we're just going to go back to the old scheme. That's it. That's going to, that all of a sudden, guys, we're going to get 2 years younger. We're going to get 2 years healthier. No, it was, and a lot of these mistakes were things that they needed to address this season ago, 2 seasons ago. You don't get to the point where you trotted out this offensive line week 1. And again, the senior statesman of them all, just like Flacco was the only one that could stay healthy in the summer, who's the only one that went bell to bell? The 12-year veteran, Joel Bitonio.
Yeah. And again, Joel Bitonio probably will call it a career. And he held off.
What are you coming back for now?
Yeah.
What are you coming back for now? Who are you? What is your name? All right, nice to meet you. Who's that guy? What is your name? What am I doing here? Why am I? Joel, it's been a beautiful 12 years. And even if Joel said, look, get me some way out of here, I do want to play. But unfortunately, I don't think it's here. You give him that. This man he's in the Joe Thomas threshold of he's given you everything you could possibly ask for. So, I think it's probably the perfect time that Joel walks away. But, nobody knows what, goes on inside an athlete. Maybe these last 2 years were hard on him because there wasn't much success. Maybe he would like one more run. And if that's the case, the Browns just, let the man go, if that's the case. But, the Browns, and that's been one of the most things I probably had the most fun with covering this team since 2017 is, although there's been a lot of issues with this team, you've gotten some really good stories. I got to see the very tail end, of course, of Joe Thomas, but I've seen nothing but, of course, Joel Bitonio, Myles Garrett. And, as bad as it's been overall, there's really been some really incredible stories with this franchise.